NBA star has been detained in Russia for 83 days to date. All right, now the U.S. has released that she is unlawfully detained, but she's not home yet. So how do y'all feel about this? She had some hash oil. It was alleged. It is alleged that she had some hash oil in her bags at the airport. Let's weigh in on that one.
Well, me personally, go ahead, Mike.
Well, I think she kind of. I mean, you gotta be thinking you're a star. You can't afford to slip up. And we as a people, we got to know what we have to lose. If everybody think about what they have to lose, then maybe they'll think twice about, thing that they doing. Bubba?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, that is a slip up on her behalf, you know what I'm saying? But especially at the time that she got caught, it was like right at the beginning of the war. I think the war started, they had started or something like that. So that was kind of like bad timing on her behalf, you know what I'm saying? But we all look at it as it's small, a little oil, you know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be holding her like that. And I feel like they shouldn't be holding her like that, Like she should have been back home. They could have just fined. I feel like they could have just gave her a fine. But me not knowing, what the laws are in Russia about, marijuana possession or whatever. But, me personally, I feel like they shouldn't have held her that long. Shouldn't be holding her that long, man. She should have been home, should have fined her and gave her a slap on the wrist and sit on by the way. Russia got bigger problems than somebody get caught with a little marijuana paraphernalia or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's too much.
But also, let's look at the time that she got caught. Let's look at her celebrity status. Right. Let's look at why she's in Russia in the first place. She has to go to, because women are not equally paid. She has comparison to the NBA. So they go on their off season so they can make extra money. They make millions playing overseas. But due to the fact of everything going on with Ukraine and Russia, the timing of the situation, could have been staged. We don't know because they're not releasing any details.
Right.
Y'all, I had to look it up because initially I was very upset. And then I got the perspective a little bit from my husband, and he was saying how people were trying to make this out to be like, a race issue. Y'all, that's not the case. I actually did the research and I looked to see, I literally typed in how much time can you do if you're caught with marijuana in Russian customs. Well, depending on how much you have gotten caught with determines how long that you could possibly be detained. Right. They said if it's less than 2 grams, according to their law, it really should have been just a small fine. And they said 15 days. They don't even call it jail. They call it detention. So what makes me think is, because this is alleged, but if she had more than 2 grams, they said you can do a maximum of 10 years, y'all. Of 10 years. So I dug a little further. I said, let me see if anybody's ever gotten caught, with marijuana in Russian customs. There was a lady in New Jersey, and she's actually from another foreign country, and she's been living in the foreign country, but her birthplace was in New Jersey. And she got caught with marijuana in Russian customs, and she had to serve, and she's still serving, a 7.5-year sentence. And I'm just so worried. I'm like, Lord, I know they're trying to keep it hush-hush because they're trying to see what they can work out, because don't get me wrong, y'all. I don't want her to be over there. I don't. But we got to look at facts. And the facts are she's been a part of playing Russian basketball for the last 7 years. So at minimum, right? At minimum, she's been through Russian customs at least 14 times. You know better. You know better. It'll be different if this was her very first time and, she really didn't know what was going on. But you've been minimum through Russian customs at least 14 times. So I actually am kind of worried because I don't know what they're going to try to get situated. I've also seen in the article that I was reading on where they said, well, what if it was like Kevin Garnett? Do you think they would have rushed to get him through? Well, we can't compare that because we're talking about a multimillionaire versus somebody that makes a few million. That can't even be compared. Can't even be compared. And you're talking about Kevin Durant being a superstar. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't know who Brittney was until this case happened. Do I sit down and watch WNBA? Y'all, I do not. I do not. I don't find it to be, entertaining like that. I did not know who she was until this situation happened.
What you think, Holyfield?
Let me ask the panel this question. What was she called at?
She was called going through Russian customs, so she was getting ready to head home.
So just stop right there.
Okay.
She was called in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
This is beyond foreign land. Russia don't play with its own citizens. Russia's a very poor country. So I don't really have any sympathy. I mean, let alone growing up, if I went to the wrong side of town, I knew to be on the lookout.
Right.
You called in Russia, out of all places.
Right.
And we got to be more careful. We definitely got to be more careful. And I think that raises the eyebrow in the narrative of Black America and our unawareness as African American when we lead this country, because the whole narrative around the world is this right here. They don't just like African Americans, they don't care for Americans because they say we're arrogant. And we bring our laws to their land. Yeah. So, and I don't think a Kevin Durant would make this type of mistake.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. He
wouldn't.
Then you're a woman
going on right now. Like, we know that there's a possibility, like if certain countries move, that the U.S. is going to have to move too. This wasn't the time nor the place to even do something like this. Even if it was 2 grams, even if it was more than 2 grams, Brittney should have never made that decision at all. Like I said, it's alleged, so we don't really know. But I'm hoping for her sake that they can come up with something, because I do want her home. I want all of them. I don't want any American to be detained in a foreign country at all, regardless of what the circumstances are. I really don't.
That's my stance. I'm a woman. She's a woman. I'm a Black woman. She's a Black woman. All right. She happens to be in the LGBTQ community. And also in these countries, we know that they take a strong stance against that type lifestyle. Right. And torture, there are no limits on torture.
Right.
So let's keep the sister lifted in our prayers and what's going on. But since we are talking about women, last week, towards the weekend, we lost Kevin Samuels. All right. Great social media influencer, great podcaster. He brought some very controversial views in the world of entertainment, but his death kind of brought him to the forefront even more. But, we salute him, and we're going to dedicate our conversation tonight to him and all his greatness. And let's show this clip of Kevin Samuels real quick so we can talk about it.
If you have made it to 35 years old and you're unmarried, you are a leftover woman. A leftover woman. You are what is left. Men know that there's something likely wrong with you. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to just go there with you. I'm telling you the truth that you don't want to hear. Men know that there's something likely wrong with you, but you cannot be fit in an adjustable 6 or higher, 35, unmarried. Something wrong with you. That's where men automatically coming at it. And here's the thing. Just like when you were between the ages of 18 and 25 and you didn't want to settle, you were trying to get the CEO, the pilot, the investment banker, you were trying to get flued out. Here's what's going to happen. If you are a woman 35 plus and you want a man that's on the same lifestyle level, you're going to have to share it.
All right. Leftover women.
Well,
If you
I'm a fan of Kevin Samuel, and
Me too.
actually, even before I heard that clip, I was telling one of my friends about something I was watching about a month ago in China, and in China they say if you over 27 to 30, you a leftover woman. 27 to 30, you a leftover woman. So I mean, it's a lot of competition in China with all them women, all them millions. And they pretty much saying once you over 30 in China, like you done. If you're a woman, you ain't married.
Let's take sports for example. Any profession that's physical from the ages of 17, 18, 19, 20, when you get to 28, 29, it's questionable. When you get to 30, it becomes okay. Now you're 35. You know, that is questionable. You can't say, hey, I want a $146 million contract and you 35.
Say that.
You on the downsides of your career. Your prime years are leaving you. You know, Michael Jordan won his last championship. He was what, 35, 36, 1998. After that, the next year, his knee went out. You know, so it's
Like, you just ain't worth that kind of contract no more, right?
Oh, hold on.
There you go.
We are treading. I am 35. And I pray to God my knee does not go out anytime soon. However, I'm not in my prime. I feel like I'm just getting started. So the term leftover woman, in a sense, we got to look at times have changed. Women are not getting married as early as they have in the past. My mom got married when she was 16.
Well, I dispute that. African American women are not. But when you leave outside of African American women, and a lot of that is due to the narrative now that African American women have bought into, and that goes back to the other things going on in the 70s with the liberal rights and the free liberations and all that going on. However, when you go into other cultures, other races, man, women are marrying straight out of college. They have families. You know, they are complete families. I'm not saying that you're 35 and your knee about to go out. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is when you're 35 versus a 25-year-old, we can't look at the 1% of a situation and then downplay the 99%. You're the 1%. You're the 1%. So when we look at this as a whole, I got to say, hey, most African-American women, when you hit 35 and 36, 37, 38, 39, it's a house full of children.
Right.
You know, it's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I mean, you're part of the 1%. So I can exclude you, but then that's the other 99% as a whole we got to start looking at. And that says another thing because the narrative now is in the African-American community, we identify as individuals and we don't look at things as a collective whole, what other races do.
So
yes, go ahead, Ray. I was about to say, I'm not gonna lie, when he said race, that just brought something up in me. You know, I have, just as many white friends as I do black friends. And I'm not gonna lie, most of my white colleagues, they were married before they were 25 years old. Like I had to take a step back to say, Katie, what is wrong with you? But guess what? I wasn't ready. And here I am standing, 33. This is my first marriage. I feel like, y'all, it is definitely questionable after you reach, I would say going into your late 30s. What's going on? Do we need to work on self? I'm talking about women now. Do we need to work on ourselves if we're over 35 and we haven't at least found, somebody that we can call our own?
Okay,
Go ahead, Bubba.
I was about to say, like, what about the women that's been married before? You know what I'm saying? And probably not married no more. They divorced or whatever reason, and they about to hit their late 30s or you know what I'm saying, they mid 30s. You know, what about those? What about those women?
I
You know
feel
what I'm saying?
like those,
I'm one of those women. I got married at 27. I divorced before 28 because I felt like it wasn't working for me. And I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I felt like I was settling. I felt like, you know, I got married. Not that he was a bad guy or anything. It was just the grief brought us together. We fell in love in a hopeless place. And when the grief was over with, the marriage was too. However, I have a lot more to give. And I think I have a lot more to receive. So that situation wasn't for me. And I'm still in a place where I do want to get married again. I do want that family with the picket fence. But right now, I'm getting the picket fence, the house, everything by myself. It's the quality. I can't just marry anything. Like, for me, that's what it boils down to. I can't just marry anybody.
I agree with
there's
that.
nothing wrong with having standards. Absolutely nothing wrong with having standards. I see Chelsea Adams. She said, I think it depends more on what you're actually looking to do and what you value. That's absolutely true, Miss Adams. That definitely depends on what you want. If you feel like you're not ready, I don't want you to feel like, oh Lord, I'm 35 and I'm still not ready to get married. I must find somebody today. No, that's not what we're saying. And you're absolutely right. You got to be ready. You have to be like we're getting ready to talk about mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You have to be ready to receive this man, to receive this woman. Because if you're not, then you might let it pass you by. Or have you even let that good man pass you by? Or have you let that good woman pass you by?
Because I'm saying, and then that's the point too. And in one of Kevin Samuel's videos that I watched, he was like, so in college, you know, he was just a loser to you, but now he's a real estate broker. And now you want to turn around, you want to go back, that kind of thing. Same thing. I feel the same way. I'm just like Mike Jones. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all want me. But I'm not choosing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready to just choose anybody's son.
Absolutely.
You know, well, me. Go ahead.
Well, I want to comment on the young lady that said, why black men not wanting to get married. That is my biggest problem with black men as a whole, because although I didn't grow up in a household where my mom was married, once I got, you know, over 5 years old, I always wanted to be married. So I got married early. But in general, black men don't want to get married. And there's so many different reasons why. Some of them don't want the responsibility. Some of them can't keep a job. Some of them just like the life of having a whole bunch of women. I mean, it's a lot of reasons why. But the bottom line is, that's the problem that makes our race kind of weak, the lack of two-parent households. So if we were getting married right out of college and start building, buying houses, doing this, and staying together, then we'll be stronger as a culture. Our kids will be better. Our schools will be better. Everything will be better if we got married and stayed married.
Yeah, you said something real then. You said something staying married. You know what I'm saying? Staying together, because a lot of people jump out here and get married. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of friends that's married. You know, I'm not married, never been engaged, none of that yet. So I got a lot of friends that's still around me that has gotten married, you know what I'm saying, and has been in a marriage. But, you know, a lot of my friends' marriages has failed too, you know? Like, and it's like, you know, everybody, I feel like getting married kind of more so now is a trend for a lot of people. It ain't just because they, you know what I'm saying, they value this person or they trying to build with each other. They want to say, oh, we've been together for X amount of years, let's get married. Like, it's more of a time thing with people now. It ain't, you know what I'm saying, it ain't about, you know what I'm saying, what y'all saying, focusing on staying together and building together. It's all about, oh, we've been together for 20 years. We should have been married. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about these days. It ain't, you know, everybody want to, oh, you know, put a time on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think if a man have not married a woman that he's actively dating, they live in the same city. If marriage ain't on the table in 1 year on the table, she need to move on.
Come on now.
I can't put a time thing. I can't really put a time. I don't like to put a time on stuff like that because, you know, you think about it, man. You ain't. I grew up with my sister and we 30 plus years old, and I don't really know everything about my sister. So you saying a year you gonna find out everything you need to know about this person, and you sure you want to marry this? That's why they end quick. That's what I feel. I feel like they end quick because y'all throwing it out there too fast.
So
Well, Bubba, nothing takes all day. Nothing takes all day.
But nothing happened over. Wrong one built overnight either.
That's true too. Absolutely. But this is how I feel, and I can only speak from the perspective of what I'm going through now. Now, this is the second time my husband and I have dated, right? And the second date, I knew he was going to be my husband. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. And he'll tell you the same thing. It's like, I feel like when you know, you know. You know. You really do. It's something that you feel internally. It's something that you know mentally. Now most men have told me that are actually still currently married, they knew within those first couple of months if that was going to be their wife. Some of them knew the first date that was going to be their wife.
I
Go
think
ahead, is that you, Rashad?
no, I'm finna say another thing to look at is culture.
Yeah.
In the Black culture, we had to stay together. You look at Egyptology, Asar, Aset, Horus.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity was family.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at other nations and why they marry, it's for different reasons. But here's another thing you got to look at in this country.
Okay.
We've been taught to be individuals.
Yes.
And we've been taught to not look at ourselves as a collective whole.
Mm-hmm.
Nation building, where Europeans look at things and they just have this cohesiveness where if something go off within them, they stay together. Whether they're gay, they're straight, they're married or not, they know at a certain time we can't let nobody rise above us, so we have to do certain things in a certain fashion. And they marry for different reasons. Another thing you got to look at is our oppressor understood to divide and conquer. So in the 60s and the 70s, when they came into the Black home and they told that Black woman, hey, look, you ain't got to marry this man. We'll take care of you. And when that Black woman agreed to these things, that was the last blow to the Black family.
Okay, now,
I'm not saying men are perfect. I'm not saying Black men have always done things right, because we know in Black culture, Black families, the husband has always had another family outside the family. We've heard of these stories and we've seen them at funerals and different things. However, we're in a different place now. Now, and then you got to look at hip hop. There was a mission that started in the early 2000s, and it was a very deceptive mission. And the mission was, if you watch a rap video from 2000 on now, you don't see Black women. You see mulattoes. You see foreign women. Mm-hmm. So now here's a second wave of this trauma coming, where it's saying, hey, look, Black man, you don't have to be with a Black woman. You get you a fair complexion woman, or you get you a woman that's not of your nationality or whatever. So that's why you're seeing so many single African-American women. And it's not that Black men won't marry. Now it's not appealing to marry a Black woman.
Yes.
Because the narrative that's being pushed is don't marry a Black woman. Yes. And a woman of a certain skin tone. Now, we have so much to say about Kevin Samuels, but why are we not saying this about these rappers that push this agenda?
Yeah.
The other thing that's being pushed right now is now you're seeing more commercials with Black women and white men.
Yes, I'm starting to see
commercials and all that. They got
them
mixed kids in the back and the the Black woman with their white man.
Yes.
We got to step up.
Yes. And like y'all, and I'm not sure, it might be intimidation, and Raven, you can chime in on this, but I get worried that a man doesn't even know how to approach a woman that we would consider a boss chick. I know a woman right now that she told my cousin, actually, she's a couple of dollars short from being a millionaire, owns multiple properties. She's a traveling nurse. She's now building her second home, y'all, from the ground up. And I'm just in awe just of her accolades and the things that she's done. And she's single.
Hey, well, let me stop you right there too, Kate. Let me interrupt you right there on
Go
that.
ahead.
Now, see, that's the thing. and Ray, you said something earlier. You know what I'm saying? You said time has changed. You know what I'm saying? You're right. Times has changed, and like Katie was just saying, you know, that's another reason why a lot of black men won't marry either, because now a lot of black men are intimidated by women that got a lot of stuff going. They feel like they won't be able to be a man in that household if this woman is talking about all her accolades, and not saying that she should downplay herself and not do those things, but you got to understand, a woman want a man, but she want to be the man in the household, you know what I'm saying? But she want a man got to feel like he's the man.
That's exactly
in the household.
Right.
You got to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, a lot of men not getting married because they know that if they get in this situation or this marriage, they know they're going to get played like a little boy, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get downplayed as a man and not going to feel like a man. And, you know,
but what I'm gathering,
I want to chime too, because someone put, we are not our grandmothers. We are not our mothers.
No.
I'm sorry. As an educated black woman, I earn income. I'm a good woman like my grandmother. I'm a good woman like my mother. I'm a true Southern belle. But if I'm bringing home some bacon too, you're not about to put your hands on me.
You're not.
Well,
you're not about
to understand that.
You're not about to talk to me any kind of way.
You're not.
See that, but
you're not gonna walk around like over my eyes. But there's a lot of things that take place in black culture, and we don't want to address these things. It's not okay. But educated black women are not tolerating some of the behaviors that we saw.
That's the problem.
Throughout the generations.
That's the problem, right there.
Right here. When we start talking about black men like these exotic women, they want to go to the Dominican Republic. You know, they want to do Jay-Z and Big Pimpin'. All right. We are not loyal to each other. You know, before you go look at that exotic woman, look at a sister first. Give her a chance.
Yeah.
And they don't do that. I mean, so we're not loyal to each other as a society. That's something that internalized hatred is huge. It crosses a whole lot of boundaries, and we're still struggling with that. So, you know, black love has to exist. Black women, we're starting to love ourselves. We need black men to love us too, because he might not be looking at the sister. And a conversation that I had with a friend was, when a man asks you, you know, what do you do for a living? He doesn't care about how much money you make.
I don't.
He's trying to see the value that you prioritize your money over what you actually do for him, kind of thing.
Come on now.
So now that's something that rang bells to me, because I know I'm a busy woman. I'm like, you know, my dating life is just not popping. Well, you know, I am busy. Yeah. I am out here trying to be a girl boss. I am a girl boss. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I understand that. And if that keeps me away from a man, if a man can't see that, he doesn't want to add to it, he don't want to be with it, then so be it. Yeah. Because I have all these things going on. But they are, I mean, you can't just put it all on the woman, because there are good black women out here.
I agree with you.
Men,
yes.
That are going to love us first.
I agree with you. There are a lot of good black women out here, but black women are choosing careers over family values. And that's the truth, because this nation has never been good to African American men. You have to understand, the European knew from day one, to conquer this nation, you have to subdue the man first through the woman. So two people have always been free in this country, and that's a white man and a black woman. You know, the last person to get rights in this country was a white woman. So with the narrative of I'm a boss chick, it sounds good. That's another play on hip hop to destroy the black family, because the most important thing to God is family.
Absolutely.
It ain't how many businesses you got.
Right.
It ain't
It's not.
The most important thing to the Most High is family, and I'm just being honest.
That's
Now, I'm not
100%.
against a woman having things, because if a woman has children, and now women have rights to do things, work. Yeah, you gotta work. You gotta work. And if you got creative ideas, get those ideas out and maximize that dollar. I'm all for that. But that comes second.
Okay, now
That comes second. And that goes back to what I was initially saying about we have this identity crisis that Massa put on us, and that's to be an individual. See, we don't have nationality. Nationality would say, hey, look, I'm an individual within this nation, and I contribute to the nation. And when you have the identity of an individual, it's me, myself, and I. It's all about what I'm gonna do and how much money I'm gonna make. To other nations, I've been outside of this country, and I have partied and enjoyed myself in poor countries. And I saw family, I saw structure. These people had love, and nobody was walking around with a gun. In the United States of America, colonialism has put a stronghold on us. And the narrative that we are telling each other, and Raven, you are absolutely correct. We are not loving each other. The black man won't support the black woman. He'll rather go out here and get a woman that look like milk. I'm just gonna say it and support her. And she'll take all his money he got once his career is over with. But on the flip side, African American women bought into the narrative of putting the black man out of the home and taking a government check. And that's the truth. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
Now, on that note, to tag on about the government check thing, there are very few black men that I know, and I'm 42 years old, who got their own place by themselves.
Agreed.
Don't live with a woman.
Agreed.
They don't live with their mama, their grandmama.
Agreed.
But
no hot and no cots, baby. My mom taught me at an early age, you are not going to provide anybody a hot meal and a cot at something that you have built for yourself. Okay.
But these same black men, they never had their own apartment, got kids everywhere. Got kids everywhere. So at some point, you as a black woman got to say, I'm not having no baby by this man unless he got at least a car, a place, something. He got to have something. But it's too many of us allowing people to take advantage of us that don't have anything.
Right.
I agree with you.
Enough money in the long run, because most of the time that woman gonna be left with them kids.
Okay, now, stop right there. The woman is going to be left with those kids. On that note, Roe versus Wade has been in the media all week long. The breach of the possible Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade, which was a 1973 Supreme Court decision that made abortions legal during the first trimester, is now a possibility that it could be overturned. What does that mean for women?
Oh my God.
Girl, I am absolutely worried about that.
Wow.
In all honesty, I'm thinking about this is how I was thinking. I'm thinking the longevity part. All right. Let's say that this ruling is done. Let's say that this is what we decide. Okay. What about these people? What about these women that didn't want to have kids? Go ahead and have the kid, and they still don't want them. Y'all, we already had a shortage of social workers. What is going to happen with these mothers who really don't want their children? It's going to be a mess. Versus if you would have allowed me to go ahead and have this abortion, because whatever the situation was, and like I had to look at Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg said in The View, I want people to understand that this is not what women just up and decide to do. I had a friend of my own where we sat and we talked for hours about should I or should I not. She got in a situation where the man, he was between being out of jail, what do they call it? What is in between? Halfway house. And realized, he's not going to do for me. As soon as she told him that she was pregnant, he was like, "You on your own. I don't want it." So she had to then make the decision of, do I keep it or do I not? And we talked for hours, y'all, before she decided that she made. And even when we left that conversation, her mind wasn't made up when we finished. It was weeks on in before she decided, I'm gonna keep my baby, Katie. God is gonna take care of me. And he did just that. Smart young man, getting ready to start first grade right now. But what if it was the latter, y'all? What if it was she decided that, well, I can't get an abortion, I want to have him, but I really don't want him? You're gonna start mistreating your child, y'all. And I'm thinking of the longevity of it. I just don't think it's gonna be well. And then on the top of that, me as a woman, you don't get to tell me what I will and will not do with my body.
That's me, Katie. As a woman, let's be clear. I am a woman. This is my body. These are my reproductive organs. And I get to choose what I do with my body.
Can I make a public service announcement?
Give it to me.
Why y'all in this? This is white folks' business. Y'all get out of this. You know white folks.
Let me tell you
why these white people overturning this? Because they are not producing. And they know within 30 years, they're going to really be the minority in this country. Do not fall for this, black folks. Listen, this was never our fight because we didn't believe in abortions. That wasn't our part of our religion, our spirituality, none of that.
Yeah.
We bought into that European liberation nonsense. And white women told us, you know what? You don't know what freedom really is. So if you buy and you can own your body. Nobody truly owns their body. And black folks bought into this stuff. Let me tell you something. Between 2002 to this current day, do you know over 63 million black children have been aborted? We are the smartest.
And you know what that is too? You know what that is?
Well, hold on.
That's part of population control 101 for y'all.
Right.
And that does have some truth in it, because looking at the research and looking at healthcare and disparities, are the ones getting abortions. But let's think about what's going on in our culture for that to take place. Let's look at poverty. There are so many things that come into play, and women are having discussions and weighing out their decisions, and maybe they don't want to bring a child into a home like them. So you got to look at the inadequacies, access to health care, because she never made it to the doctor to get birth control in the first place. She never had anyone properly educate her on how the body works. And if you go do this, you're going to get pregnant. Black mothers are not talking to their daughters about menstruation and how to take care of their bodies during that time, not letting them know that they can get pregnant in this moment. So there are a whole lot of conversations that fall up under this umbrella that we need to start having in our communities. But my biggest fear is that if it is overturned, I've heard the stories about girls giving themselves abortions with clothes hangers. They can't get to an abortion clinic. I fear that if we take this control away from women over their own bodies, then we're going to be back in a place where these things are happening again. And that's not what we want. It's my body. I get to choose. And I haven't had an abortion, but I've been to college. And I have seen women in tough situations. I've seen girls. I had to drive a friend to the abortion clinic. So I know what it's like, and I know what they battle with, and I know the aftermath is sometimes difficult for these women who have had to make the decision. But
so let's have the real conversation that Big Mama used to have. If you ain't ready to be a parent, don't open your legs. That's the real conversation. That's the real conversation.
But then there's a realer conversation when somebody parts leg.
The phone is
Raven. I think Raven experienced some technical difficulties over there.
Yeah.
And there are a whole lot of, you can't tell a girl not to open her legs when she's living in a community where Uncle went in her bedroom last night. Those kind of things. So there are.
And I feel you. but that's the 2% of the 98%. So you got to do the math. Do you go with the 2% or do you go with the 98%? Because this boils down to nation building. This don't boil down to that. I'm telling you right now, your enemy is not looking at it the way you looking at it. This boils down to nation building. And this is what Republicans are saying. I don't care if you've been raped. You're going to have that child. You want to know why? Because we need another soldier on the battlefield. We need another Elon Musk so we can keep Negroes at the bottom of the footstool. That's how they're thinking. That is, I mean, I agree with you, Raven. I don't disagree with nothing you're saying. But you got to look at this is war. Right. This is literally a war going on. And that was a time that Black women understood that. They was able to see the deception. Now, most of us is, we caught up into a lot of the things that's going on. And yeah, you receive trauma when you see young women trying to do certain things and they don't have health care. But once again, I hate to sound cruel, and I'm for my people. I love my people, but that is the 2%. And I will pick the 98 over the 2% any day because I understand nationality.
Mm-hmm. Rashad made a good point that a lot of stuff that go on don't even include us far as making Black people better. It's for them, and maybe we benefit and maybe we don't. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on in America. I mean, it's something that's simple as shampoo commercials and stuff. That shampoo made for them, we just use it. That soap made for their skin, we just use it. So a lot of stuff that go on with these laws, they ain't saying how we gonna help Black people. They saying how they gonna help their own people. We just may benefit from it or we may not.
To Akita Jackson, I'm not putting all the blame on women. That's not what I'm saying. I come from a woman. Matter of fact, I was raised by 2 women. My father didn't even raise me. But I also, as a man, have an understanding. And I'm a man that has traveled around the world. And I'm also a man, a part of societies. So I can tell you the narrative behind closed doors ain't what's put on the forefront. Have anybody ever read Albert Pike, Morals and Dogmas? It was written close to 100 years ago. He was a United States general. This man told you the agenda of the United States of America, the wars that was going to take place, how they were going to do certain things. So it's not that my numbers are off neither. So many times we listen. You have to let your higher intellect rule your emotions. Your emotions will betray you
all the time.
So your higher nature rules your lower nature. That's why in our culture, the pharaohs wore a serpent on their crown because there was one who knew. And you rose to the level of a pharaoh because your higher nature ruled your lower nature. So I might want to do certain things, but is it profitable for me to do this?
Okay, now this conversation is controversial as I knew it would be. Yeah. But we had to talk about, we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the culture to talk about it and bring these different opinions. But to cool it down, we have a toss-up question. Let's take a look. Is there something wrong with a man giving a woman that he is seeing money or paying her bills? Is there something wrong with a man giving a woman that he is seeing money or paying her bills? Gentlemen, you can have.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with a man seeing a woman and giving her money or paying her bill, because I feel like as a man, if you seeing this woman, especially if she only seeing you, you have a expectation to help out where help is needed. However, we're always thinking along the lines of a boyfriend, girlfriend. So I'm not going to commit to paying a woman bill in a different household, I'd rather commit to marrying a woman paying the bill, the light bill, the mortgage, the car note, instead of paying mine and paying yours.
Understandable. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it myself. I feel like it depends on your how far you got. I mean, where you guys mentally with everything. I have a friend of mine that is, working towards paying her husband that got, I mean, not her husband, her boyfriend that got in kind of a bind. And she took it upon herself. He didn't know he was thinking about taking out a loan. She was like, well, let me take care of that for you. So I really feel like it all depends on where your relationship is at that moment. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do feel like red flags come up to me if within those first 4 weeks and you're asking me, can I pay your phone bill? No, I can't. And I might have the money times 15, and I'm still not gonna do it. So I guess, to me, it just all depends.
My issue is, okay, I'm okay with the man doing whatever he is going to do for a woman. But as a woman, I don't want to ask a man to do it. Like, I didn't see that growing up. I'm a little old school with it. I feel like the man should just, if he sees a need, he should provide it. Oh, your hair a little nappy, baby. Here go $200. Go get your braids redone.
Well,
car is a little dusty. Let me go ahead and take that to the car wash for you. Oh, when I walked in the house, I flipped on that light switch. Here's the money for Alabama Power. But babe, I'm running a little short this month. I need this, that, and that. That is not my style. I don't feel like a woman should have to ask a man for anything. But as a man, I feel like if he sees the need to provide it and he does it, kudos, that's a good man.
Right.
Yeah. But, like we were saying earlier, the women with those accolades, you know what I'm saying? I feel, I ain't paying no bills. I ain't gonna do none of that, especially if we living in separate households. I can't pay your bills and mine too. Inflation, one of the words we were talking about last week. I love that word still. A lot of inflation going on. I'm not paying no bills, you know what I'm saying? We ain't staying in the same house. I don't know who in and out that house. I don't know who flipping them light switches when I ain't there. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? If I need to pay your bill, we might as well move on in together and get married. That's what we might well do. I'm not gonna pay no bill that I'm staying on the outside of your house and you talking about, oh, I need this. Oh, well, you need another job, Miss Boss Lady. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need. You know what I'm saying? You need to find a husband because I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna give you no money to pay no bills when you claim you bossy and this and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
That's the other side. That's the other side right there.
No, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a boss, you got to pay these boss bills. It costs to be the boss. You got to pay them bills. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay mine. You pay yours. Now, if we move in together, then babe, I got light bill this month. Babe, I got the mortgage this month. You know what I'm saying? But if you stand up the street, oh no, I can't. No, I ain't doing that. You need to downsize or something. You need to do something. I ain't paying them bills for you. I'm sorry.
So Chanel said, what about things outside of the bills? Like, let's say like a young man with nails done or toes, hair. Would you be willing to foot that bill?
The things outside of bills,
that's an undeveloped woman. If I gotta pay your bill, that's an undeveloped woman. That's keeping it real, auntie. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay no woman's bill. Y'all can say, and that's the problem. Y'all think look, money do not make a man. Me giving a woman money don't make me a man. That's not a man. That's just a man with a lot of money. He just a guy with a lot of money. That don't make him a man. Me paying your bills is not gonna classify me as a man.
Right.
So y'all need to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stop that. Oh, you're an undeveloped man. Nah, you're an undeveloped woman. Go out there and work harder.
But Bubba, I do want to understand.
I got the same opportunity.
Yeah,
Bubba, I do
they
want
got all the rights to do that now. They boss chicks and all this and that. Here's the thing: when the narrative was said back in the early 30s and 40s and 50s, you can't milk the cow for free. That's because a black woman really couldn't work. But here's the truth of the matter: if I lay down with you, it's an even exchange. It stops there. So if I go in my pockets, that's furthering the agenda. You see what I'm saying? So to say, what if I say, well, look, hey, I just laid with you, but you know what? You need to pay my light bill. You see what I'm saying?
We less of a man then though. We ask them for that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But so and that's a part.
I'm telling you, the city girls have messed things up, honey, because that's how women genuinely think now.
Because see, the problem is women want to be masculine. They want to be mean until it comes down to the money.
I don't want to be I'm a woman. I want to be treated as such. I can only speak for myself, but I think the problem is we're treating small non-fundamental relationships like marriages.
And see, that's the problem. The only thing I know how to do is be married. I don't know how to pay the bills in my house because I was married for a long time, and that's the situation I want to be in. So all this boyfriend, girlfriend for 10 years, I'm paying my bill, your bill, all that back and forth. I mean, and me and you for each other, they get married and move in, and it all be solved.
So y'all are reaping.
Ain't no man paying no bill because it's already hard enough out here for us, man. I'm telling you, I said that last week. You can't put all that on the man to help pay your bill. Now helping out, the thing about helping out though, y'all. This thing about helping out, because I know some of y'all talking about, well, just sometimes I might fall short. Then if I help you out this one time, then it's gonna become more often that you falling short. Now it's becoming a habit that I'm doing these bills for you. You know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna be hard for me to break away from paying them bills for you. The moment I say, oh, I can't do that this month, oh, you mad. Now you got Jody over here that paying them bills, and now, you know what I'm saying? And there it is. It's a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
So look, y'all, Aretha said, well, what do y'all want in a woman?
Sandra said exactly. Get married. And that's the narrative in other cultures. They don't do all this dating for 3-5 years, wasting money. They get married. You meet somebody, and a lot of marriages are arranged. It's a totally different narrative.
That's because a lot of black people and black women and black people are taught marriage based on love. Marriage is based on love.
It's a business.
When God put Adam and Eve together,
marriage is duty.
Adam loved Eve and Eve loved Adam.
Understand that because me loving you is not a business transaction.
It's gonna grow. The love gonna grow.
Marriage is not a partnership.
I don't even want a man who come out marry me as a business.
Marriage is not a partnership.
Yes, it is.
No. Marriage is responsibilities and duties. Look at the vow. Look at the vow. Whether I complete my end or not, Raven, guess what? If I marry you, guess what? You got a duty. And if I get sick, right? You got to take care of me.
And you got
that's what the vow is. You make these vows to God. You didn't make them to me.
You got to too.
But that's how people say marriage.
Right, and I do too.
And it shouldn't be forced, y'all. It shouldn't be forced. Like whomever you're gonna be with, and you decide to help them out in some shape, form, or fashion, it's just something that you want to do willingly because you care about that person. You love that person, and it's not forced. Love is easy. Love is kind. Love is patient.
Oh, if it's hard to pay bills in 2 houses, why do so many people have side pieces? They don't miss it.
Ooh, come on, LeVar.
I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm about to tell you why right now.
Come on,
because some men can afford to have a main woman and a side chick, and some women can afford to take care of somebody else's man sometimes.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Don't forget that women
side chicks are cool. Side chicks are cool.
They're not bringing the drama, huh?
They understand and know their role.
The peace.
That's
they are
the
the PEACE. They are the peace.
Not every woman want to be married.
Right.
That's true too. Now,
not every woman want no man spend. There are some women who act just like me. You come over there, you do your bid. They want you to go home right then. They want you to in and out.
Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got their own menu. There are a lot of different menus out there what people want. And somebody can find somebody that fit what they want to deal with.
Because it's not, hey, now that right, now that real. Now that's the real of the real.
And my brother told me if I go to Atlanta, I ain't got to have no job. And he
get what-
gay,
it's
but
some
he
women
know a
out
lot
there-
of
it's some
women who giving men plenty money.
Right.
Yeah,
Just half
that's
the
true.
men gay, the other half locked up. So you got 25 women to one man.
There you go.
That's true now.
And they ain't asking for no light bill money to turn
They
those
ain't
switches.
asking for
To
nothing.
flip
They
those
giving,
switches either.
giving.
They boss chicks.
Lay
That's
off
true.
the boss chick. It's some good wholesome boss chicks out here
It is.
who want
That should be married.
husbands. But look
Yes.
at look at everything that we have to deal with. You all are saying it's a lot out here. It's a lot on the menu. But as a people, as a culture, it takes two to put family first to rebuild the culture, to get back to the village. So I mean, our mindset as a whole is going to have to change so that we can change the narrative in Black culture, because you know
It's over with, Raven.
it's not looking good for us right now.
It's
If
over
we don't
with.
do something to
Why you
redirect
say that, Rashad?
It's done. It's over with.
Why you
Save
say that,
yourself.
Rashad?
Majority is
Let me
not
tell
on
you
the
something.
positive
Let me tell you
page.
something. And I had to say this in my classroom. It's really over with. And I'll be honest with you. We're on our last plight. African nations been ruling the world for over 100,000 years. So we're on the downside. You might well be looking for God to return soon or something. But let me say this to you. When the Black woman realized that the Black man couldn't protect her, and the white nation, if she seen the Black man get emasculated while she was pregnant, Black man had no power. So in order for her to survive, she gave in. She succumbed to massa. And that kept on. That kept on. That kept on. And that kept. And this is the end result of it now. Man, the show is over. It's over, man.
We got this last
It's
topic.
over.
No, not this last topic out.
Baba, if you can save yourself, jump off the ship.
This does lead us into our next topic. It kind of changes the mindset, my mindset going into the next topic. So our big topic for tonight is what makes you fit today. And when we talk about fit, as in fitness, dating, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and physically, what makes a person fit to date? So let's talk about spiritually first. Is spirituality a piece of the component we're looking for when we're looking for our mate? From an 80s baby's perspective, everybody in here is from the beginning to the lower of the 80s. Do we look for spirituality in our partners?
Well, I think spirituality is becoming a less and less item that people are even thinking about. But as far as being fit to date, it makes sense. Like me, myself, I can only speak for myself. I don't have no debt. I got a car, I got a truck, I got a house, I got a job, I got a career. So, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty fit, but all that depends on who looking for you or who want to accept you as you are.
Come back though. Does she have to believe in God, Strickland? That's what I want to know. Are you looking at her spirituality?
Yeah, for me, yes. But in general, a lot of people ain't thinking about that. But mostly women, because most of these churches are full of women. You have 60 women and 10 men.
Right.
And 5 of them, well, that's enough.
There you go.
Personally, like I'm a Christian. I do go to church. I believe in God. I believe in the Trinity. But I'm a more spiritual person than I am a religious person. But I do want a mate that is spiritual as well. If I feel like I need to go down on my knees and pray, I want a man that's gonna hold my hands and pray with me. I want a man that can speak a word over me when I don't see my way as clearly. I want that connection. I want to hold hands and pray before we eat dinner together. I want to sit down at the table every night at the same time and pray over dinner. I need somebody who has a connection to the throne of grace, because I feel like I have one, because I think that it is power in our spirituality. So that does matter to me, but I know that we're moving in a different direction with the culture. And I wanted to know, like, do we think that is important in our relationships?
It's definitely important to me, Raven, because like you said, I gotta have somebody that I can pray with because I have to go to some. I feel like anybody, whenever you're down and you're out and things aren't going your way, you have to be able to humble yourself to say, what can I do, or whom I need to pray to, or what do I just feel like you gotta have it. In all honesty, my husband, he hasn't changed his religion completely. He's on his live too, by the way. But he's leaning more towards the Muslim side. Now I'm still Christianity, but our spirituality is very connected, very connected. We've had dreams before, y'all, and I'm not kidding. We've had dreams before that matched up while we were sleeping. Y'all, it's real. Spirituality is very, very important to me. Very important. I think you got to have it in order to have a prosperous relationship. I really do. I really do.
I know y'all just speaking from an 80s baby's you know what I'm saying, perspective, but you know, like Auntie said, like, you know, like Sandra said, you know, it, man, that's getting rubbed out. You know, people ain't looking for it. Today, it's all about how much bread you got, how much money you got. Nobody's thinking about that, because if y'all both broke, then okay, what happened to getting down praying on your knees and let's pray and ask God for to help us get this money. Ain't nobody, if you ain't got money coming to the table, you know, it's all about it's money. It's money. And that is important though, but you know, think about the today's time, you know, who you gonna, I can be willing, like you, sis, I can be willing to get down on my knees and pray before we eat. But if that person across the table from me wasn't brought up and ain't had those same morals, like, you know, you could try to teach it to him. Everybody say, well, you're supposed to teach it to him, you know, then, you know, you could try to convert them, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, at that point, you know, you're doing it for yourself because they don't want to do it. Even if they want to do it, you know, it's going to be hard to do that with somebody that ain't got those same morals as you growing
Absolutely.
up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be
hard.
Find
out from the beginning.
It can be done, but it's going to be hard.
You want to know why it don't matter in relationships no more? Because a godly man is lame. That's
there you go.
I used that word last week. I used that word last week, Rashad.
Yeah.
I used that word last week. Was lame. You know, when it just like when we were talking about, you know, a man, you know, doing all this stuff, you know, being a real man and approaching a woman the right way, you know, he lame.
Yeah.
You know, you go talking to a woman right now, I guarantee you, any of y'all out there watching tonight, go talk to a woman about God and see how quick she walk off from you.
Right.
You ain't talking about no money, she gone.
She gone.
And the same thing, women. Try to go talk to a man and bring up something about God.
Watch this. First of all, God don't respect dating. God don't respect dating. How many people, I ask this to people when they throw up their Christianity stuff to me. I say, have you ever read the book? Have you just read the book? Have you read the book?
All they said they got married.
Have you ever read the book? Just read the book. And I promise you, you'll get your affairs in order. It's a good book. It's a great book. You just got to follow it. But everything, you got laws, statutes, and commandments right there. Just follow. Paul Mooney said it best. He said, people don't want to follow these 10 commandments because these 10 commandments get in your you know what. They make you straighten up.
They want to run from it.
You know,
absolutely.
Until Aretha Love, she said, where do you get your stats and your facts from? I read. Black scholars out here. I've been to Egypt. Travel. Read. Pick up a book. You want to hide something from folks? Put it in a book. You heard the saying before.
Drop us some books we need to read in the chat, Rashad. Okay, please. Drop us some books we need to read in the chat so we can educate the people while we're on the live. All right, now the next thing. Our generation is starting to confront the demons of our past.
Man, what time are we ending this thing? Cause we
got 3 more, Strickland.
3 more what?
What's
Minutes?
wrong? I'm enjoying myself.
We gotta get through the top. That's what's wrong now. Men want to rush through something. Get it
Oh,
fast.
man, I'm on the time.
You gotta get to bed on.
Tiger, where you
I'm one of
going?
the
What
black
you
people
about to
that
do,
struggle.
man?
You gotta get to bed. You know he old. He
I need
Somebody
to
told me 8 to 8:50. Now it's gonna be 10:50 in a minute.
Oh,
Right,
God.
this is an adult conversation. We stay up a little late sometimes. Let's
Oh.
hold this thing because we're working with people right now.
Yeah.
All right. So with us, 80s babies, you know, we're more open to therapy. We're more open to saying, you know, I have a problem. Maybe I suffer from anxiety. Maybe I suffer from depression. What determines if a person is mentally and emotionally fit to date?
I feel like y'all that depends on that person. Y'all, I was talking to my husband, and I specifically remember this guy. I hope he's not on this live, but when I was dating him, you know, the very first time that we ever went out on a date, it was great. It was awesome. The second time, he talked about his father passing away. Y'all, he wept. He cried. And then when I asked him, I said, well, when did your father pass away? At that time, it was 7 years ago. But he was talking about it as if it happened recently. Okay, well, that's cool. He got it out. It's all right. The third day, he continued to talk about it. The fourth day, he continued to talk about it. Then I noticed that it was becoming habitual. He was mentioning it, y'all, literally every single time. If we weren't on the phone talking about it, we were in person talking about it. I finally told him, I said, look, you got to get yourself together. You need therapy. I thought I could console you, but I can't. I said, you're going to have to get therapy. And like today, he's married. I'm hoping that his wife, you know, told him about, you know, getting some help mentally because he was grieving. And like, you can't put a time cap, like, even though that was 7 years ago at that time, I can't put a time cap on how long you grieve because my father still lives. So I couldn't be insensitive to that. But I did have to tell him, look, you're not ready. You're not ready because every single conversation, every single time we meet, it's still being brought up as if it just happened yesterday. And it didn't. It was several years ago. So I knew in that moment that he wasn't ready to date. He wasn't, not mentally or emotionally, really.
Well,
So
I
I
think
feel
that all
like
depends on.
if you can't let it go, I feel like you're not ready. Go ahead, Strickland.
See, there's so many people who have had so many traumas and problems that if your mind had to be perfectly clear, nobody would be ready to date. So what he got to do is what he did was to find somebody he could get with, which was you, who gonna make that thing be all right.
That's true.
So, but far as being mentally ready to date, I mean, to me, you just need to have your old relationship out of your system for trying to pursue it and be ready to pursue something different.
All the way out of there. We shouldn't be stalking no Facebook pages to see what he got going on or who he's talking to now. We need to be done with everything. You should be able to still be friends with him and not think, let me go on his Instagram and see who pictures he like. Oh no, baby, you're not done. You're not done. You don't need to date anyone, or vice versa. If you're doing that to the woman that you just stopped dating, you're not ready. You're not ready. You should be done, sign, seal, deliver, close that chapter, seal it with glue, and go on to the next thing. If you're still doing that, if you're still trying to wonder and think, what is she doing? What is he doing? You're not ready. Because you need to be done. All the way done.
Okay, and then at the beginning, Michael gave a whole advertisement for himself. He said he got his own house, he got his own car, he got his own money, he has all of his own things. And the single ladies out here are looking. I saw the Cougars in the chat asking, do you date people from the 70s? With that being said, how important are finances, being financially fit in a relationship?
That was the number one thing I said earlier. You know, you gotta have that bread.
Gotta have that bread.
You gotta have the cheese. You know,
there's a lot of people who look like they got some bread but don't have it.
Come on now.
Hey, a lot of people who got a saving account, but ain't
talking about spirituality.
A lot of women that like $1 million.
Yeah,
they got $3 in their account.
And both,
no window to throw it out.
So watch this.
Both parties gotta have that bread, cause 5 plus 0 is 5.
So watch
y'all
this.
some math teachers.
Let me tell y'all what the Bible say. Let me tell y'all what the Bible say. The Bible says, "Feast make laughter, wine makes the heart merry, but money answereth all things." So you gotta have money.
All right.
Now, to me personally, I don't require a woman to have no money as long as she got good sense. Because not everybody is able to make a lot of money. And having good sense is that credit score. So your credit score, and some people make $30 an hour, but their credit score is 620. So that means you making some money, but you don't know what to do with it. So that credit score is 800, like mine, then I'm good. You ain't got $800 in the bank.
DM gonna be jumping after this.
Come on now, Mike.
Mike don't
Mike
get
selling
no
himself
woman
over here like,
bring that
let's
credit
go.
score down.
I ain't never finna bring mine down. I can tell you that right now.
Hey, 5 plus 0 equals 5, man.
Man, I'm done with Bubba.
They said 5 plus 0 50, man. Huh?
I am done.
So I mean, money. Some people don't have to have money as long as they can contribute. Can you contribute? Can we build together? So even if we start in that zero, and long as we start in the negative, long as we start in the negative,
5 plus 0 equals what, Mike? Mama just told you how you gonna build.
You can't build.
And you're right.
You can't build,
what if that woman has driving ambition, Bubba? Like you might have called her at a hard time, right?
I'm gonna leave her at a hard time. I'm gonna leave her at a hard time.
Look,
Oh,
there are still
you at a hard time.
Listen, there are still cultures where women stay at home until they get married. They ain't had no job. There's still culture where women stay at home with their parents till they get married. So
Yeah,
they
that's
ain't
other
work nowhere
cultures,
for
Mike.
10
Not
years.
do that.
But Mike, that's other cultures. Guess what? Black women are boss chicks now. It's a whole different.
I guess they got the money.
Raven, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about other chicks out here.
I'm talking about Raven.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, in society now, man, everybody a boss. Everybody doing this. Everybody doing that.
And for me, for the boss chick, finances are important because when a man get to acting funny, I don't want to stay at home. I want to go to work every day because when you get to acting funny, I want to buy my plane ticket or my bus fare straight up out of there. You understand that?
Right.
So I think it's equally important that both parties bring something to the table.
Cause 5 plus 5 is 10.
Oh my God.
5 plus 0.
Now you're right, Bubba. I see you have valid points. Like if both of y'all are financially set, I get it. You're gonna prosper. But I really want you to see that perspective of if that woman has potential and she's showing you. Like, what if she in school, right, Bubba?
I don't do that based on the potential.
She wants to be a traveling nurse.
Hey, and what if was a film we'll all be drunk?
But men are known for that. We'll take on a woman that work at McDonald's.
And women are known for it too.
Women will put you on too now.
Bringing men up out they mess.
True.
Helping them get on their feet.
Yeah. Dressing them up,
everything. Out them dusty
but we didn't make songs about that.
Good hair.
We didn't make songs about that. In the words of Kevin Samuels, when he quote TLC, I don't want no scrub. You know what did TLC say?
I feel like
they saying now,
scrub and
on the passenger
side versus a man that has driving ambition, y'all, or a woman that has driving ambition. What if they're in school? And in school, I can't lie. My people that have, that been in the college, that was the brokest I've ever been in life. But I didn't know I was gonna graduate.
I'm just gonna wait.
What if she's in school, y'all? Y'all got to give her a chance. Off Jump Street.
Okay. Now, so we talked about the mental, the emotional, finances. What about physically fit? I put up a post this weekend. Nobody wanted to answer the poll publicly, but I had people DM me about would you date a plus size person or would you date a big man? And people don't want to talk about it, but somebody told me that people who date plus size women or big men have just ran out. They can't get nobody else.
Well, hold on. Oh, wait. Because I dated plus size women. I'm a Southern man. I like some meat on my bones. So I mean, and I can get any kind of woman I want to get. So it's about personal preference because I'm secure within myself. You know, when I go out, if I'm looking for a certain type of woman, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm a plus size woman. You put a skinny girl beside me if you want to.
So
I'm killing every time. I'm gonna eat it every time, baby, because I know I'm winning. Big, beautiful, voluptuous, and curvy.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Same way, baby. Same way.
I have ready now.
Size 2, size 3, size 4. But I promise you put me up next to somebody, I'm gonna eat every time.
Every time. Dinner is served. It's an entree. Forget the snacks.
Forget the snack. This is dinner. But yes, I honestly, because I believe I answered you, Raven, about plus size man. I said as long as that big man is big and neat, and you had added on to it, you said well groomed too. Yeah, same thing with a woman. I have seen women that are like size 24s, y'all, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I'm talking about from the face beat for the guys all the way down to what their hair look like. Their hair is on fleek. Their clothes are on fleek, nice and fitted. They showing off their little slim trim waist with their big behind. Tata sitting up there nice and pretty. So it just, I mean, I am an advocate for big, neat men. Same thing with women that are the plus size. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hate to say it for my girls that are kind of thin, and I hate that body shaming y'all, but they starting to body shame women that are like, kind of on the smaller side. And I hate that because we don't want to body shame.
I've been known to date some BBWs.
Yes. That face got to be beat for the God. Your hair got to be on fleek. Your nails on fleek. Your toes on fleek.
Going on all these viruses and stuff they putting out here. You better keep a few extra pounds on you so you can afford to lose some or something.
Come on now.
Look at that. All right.
That makes sense because if they go to falling off for a real fat, something going on.
Oh no, you know how black people say they got that package.
And the black men always talking about what they need, but you want to knock a big girl, but then you falling in our inboxes.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, babe?
Like Lizzo said.
So who ran out? Is it the plus size Barbie or is it you?
Come on now. Because I don't know who said that comment to you, Raven, but that's a blatant lie. You have not ran out because you choose a BBW over a much thinner woman. It just depends on what you want. I walk up
to you in Walmart in front of everybody and that's you for your number.
Come on now.
Give her some self-esteem. You got to get to her. You got to give her some self-esteem now.
I feel like it's what you attracted to, y'all.
Yeah.
If a woman look good to you, period, you should compliment that. If a man look good to you, period, you should compliment that.
Oh, okay. Oh, one more thing. And if a woman chooses a big man, people think those are your more typical career-oriented women that don't care about their love life or their romantic life or their bedroom life because they feel like, Big Papa ain't really putting it down. So you chose to go with Big Papa because you don't want the additional stress of maintaining that relationship because you're more career oriented.
That must be some new age stuff, man.
We got
I remember guys like Barry White. You got Barry White. You got me and big guys always been getting women.
They really have.
Well, I'm a thin guy, I'm skinny, I'm slim, you know what I'm saying? So I can't speak on them guys. I hope they doing good for themselves out there, cause we still winning around here. Slim gang.
I agree.
We still winning.
Y'all are.
We might get a little cold in the wintertime. But in the summertime, baby, we popping.
But that plus size woman is in season year round because she shade in the warm month and she heat in the cold ones. You understand?
Come on now.
What you say?
Come on now. You better say
get a little hot in sometime now. You get a little hot in sometime.
She is shade.
Get a little hot.
Yes.
Got to sleep with that ceiling fan on in there.
And she know how to cook.
And she know how to
That
cook.
don't mean she cooking though.
Mm.
And all big women don't know how to cook. That's why they got all the fast food. They'll
A
tear them
lot of
down.
women know how, but they ain't doing it.
Mm.
Just cause you big don't mean you know how to cook now. Cause a lot of
Man,
that don't mean that.
My
There's some men that
experience,
know how to work that ain't working.
I'm an expertise in BBW.
Hello, Strickland.
Huh?
Hello.
I said some men know how to work that ain't working. Some women know how to cook that ain't cooking.
Now that's the truth now.
Knowing how to do
That's
something
what
and
I
doing
want
it
to
two
do.
different things.
Can't be too slim.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know you can. I want a man who can pick me up.
All right now. And you gonna find it?
You got to stay within range. That's all I can tell you. You want to be picked up.
All right, so we have been on for an hour and a half. It has been a good conversation. I hope the people can take something away from this. Is there anybody who needs to close with anything?
No, it's been amazing. I enjoyed you guys.
I just want to say, man, y'all keep it real and 100 out here, man. Don't get in these marriages just because this time. You know that money. You know, even though money is a good. You know,
motivator.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. A good motivator. You know, have some cheese now. I ain't saying be damn broke. Have some cheese, but you know, don't let that stop y'all from getting married. But don't let that time force y'all into a marriage either. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your friends that getting married or y'all been together for 10 years. Let it be something both parties want to do. You know what I'm saying? Let it be something. You know what I'm saying that. You know, y'all both want to last for a long time because, you know, getting married and getting divorced next year, that don't mean that. Y'all wasted each other's time. Y'all could have stayed boyfriend and girlfriend and they had to go get a divorce lawyer and all that. You know what I'm saying? Getting subpoenaed and all that. So just do it at your own time. It ain't no time on love. Just do it at your own time. Don't listen to these people saying, do it now in a year. Not you. I'm talking about you, Michael. You
buy everything else we want quick.
5 plus 0.
Everything you own, you sign for. You don't know no woman you ain't signed for.
Don't nothing take all day.
Don't no woman own no man she ain't signed for. Everything you own, you sign for.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, those marriages are easy to get into, but you're gonna pay to come out.
Hard to get out of, huh?
You better know.
That's why a lot of people ain't quick to get into it because it costs so much money. You probably ain't made that much money together to get up out of it. So,
but I'll pay for it. I'll pay to get out.
They spend too much on the wedding. That's why they don't have no money.
I gotta take out a small loan.
True. That's true, Mike.
Doggone wedding be your whole life saving, your whole saving for the rest of your life, and then you talking about a $40,000 ring for what?
No, I ain't big on that because you got to be married in here and in here. That means nothing, y'all. That means nothing. I have known people that are still paying off weddings that are currently divorced.
And another reason why a lot of men don't get married is because, you know, women know that they got mouse on their side and they can take you downtown and take everything you got.
So be ready.
We'll pick up right there next week.
Yeah. We gotta go, y'all.
We gotta go.
Samuel.
I'm gonna talk to the corners of my mouth is white, honey.
But yeah, y'all. Hey, I want to thank.